Welcome to CEO's Library, the 1% bookshelf, where we unlock the secrets of success through the most impactful business books shaping industries and driving innovation. I'm your host, Maxwell Thornton, and today we're diving into a memoir that pulls back the curtain on one of the most mysterious and lucrative corners of Wall Street. Have you ever wondered what it's like to work in the high-stakes world of private equity, where billions of dollars change hands and fortunes are made overnight? Today we're exploring Private Equity, a Memoir by Carrie Sun, a gripping account that takes us from the humble beginnings of a working-class immigrant to the dizzying heights of financial power and the steep personal cost that comes with it. Whether you're a seasoned executive, an aspiring entrepreneur, or simply curious about the inner workings of high finance, this episode promises to transform your understanding of what it really takes to succeed in one of the world's most competitive industries. So, buckle up, because we're about to embark on a journey that will challenge your perceptions, spark your ambition, and maybe even change the way you think about your own career. Let's start at the beginning. Imagine you're a young woman, the daughter of Chinese immigrants who came to America with nothing but dreams and determination. Your parents worked tirelessly, your father as a night shift factory worker, your mother juggling multiple jobs, all to give you a shot at a better life. This is Carrie Sun's story, and it's a testament to the enduring power of the American dream. From an early age, Carrie internalized a crucial lesson. Success comes to those who work the hardest. This belief propelled her from a childhood in working-class Queens to the ivy-covered halls of Princeton University. But Carrie's ambition didn't stop there. After graduation, she set her sights on the glittering towers of Wall Street, drawn by the promise of prestige, wealth, and the chance to prove herself in the cutthroat world of high finance. Now, let's pause for a moment and consider this trajectory through the lens of behavioral economics. There's a principle called status quo bias, which suggests that people tend to prefer things to stay the same by doing nothing or sticking with a previous decision. It's the gravitational pull of the familiar, the comfortable, but Carrie's story is a powerful example of breaking free from this bias. Think about it. How many of us stick to the paths we think we're supposed to follow, even when they don't align with our deepest ambitions? Carrie could have easily settled for a more traditional career, one that her immigrant parents might have better understood, or that seemed safer. Instead, she chose to leap into the unknown, driven by a hunger for success and a desire to push beyond the boundaries of what was expected of her. This brings us to our first point of reflection. When was the last time you challenged your own status quo? Are you on a path that truly excites you, or are you simply following a script written by others' expectations? Now, let's fast forward. Carrie has landed her dream job at a top-tier private equity firm. She's made it, right? Well, not so fast. As Sun quickly discovers, the reality of working in private equity is a far cry from the glamorous image portrayed in the media. Picture this. You're at your desk at 3 a.m., poring over spreadsheets, your eyes burning from staring at screens for the past 18 hours. Your phone buzzes constantly with messages from demanding bosses and clients. Weekends, holidays, forget about it. In private equity, time is quite literally money, and there's always another deal to close, another company to analyze. Sun vividly describes the toll this lifestyle takes, the chronic exhaustion, the anxiety that becomes a constant companion, the gradual erosion of personal relationships. She writes about gaining weight from endless takeout meals eaten at her desk, about panic attacks in bathroom stalls, about the creeping sense that her identity is being subsumed by her job. This part of Sun's story highlights a crucial behavioral economics concept: present bias. This is our tendency to overvalue immediate rewards at the expense of long-term benefits. In the world of private equity, the immediate rewards are significant. Six-figure bonuses, the rush of closing big deals, the status that comes with working at a prestigious firm. These short-term gains can blind us to the long-term consequences of chronic stress, burnout, and neglected personal lives. But here's the thing. Recognizing present bias doesn't mean we should all quit our jobs and move to a beach in Bali. Instead, it's about developing awareness and creating strategies to mitigate its effects. For Sun, this eventually meant reevaluating her priorities and making tough choices about her career path. So, let me ask you this. How are you balancing the demands of your career with your long-term well-being? Are you sacrificing your health, your relationships, or your passions on the altar of professional success? Remember, true success isn't just about the size of your paycheck or the impressiveness of your title. It's about creating a life that's sustainable and fulfilling in the long run. Now, let's tackle another crucial aspect of Sun's memoir, her experience as a young woman in the male-dominated world of private equity. This isn't just a story about gender and finance. It's a masterclass in navigating power dynamics and overcoming systemic biases in any competitive field. Sun recounts attending client meetings where she was mistaken for an assistant rather than a key team member. She describes the subtle and sometimes not so subtle ways her ideas were overlooked or attributed to male colleagues. There are cringeworthy anecdotes about inappropriate comments and the constant pressure to prove herself in ways her male counterparts didn't have to. But here's where it gets interesting. Sun doesn't just paint herself as a victim of these circumstances. Instead, she offers a nuanced exploration of how she learned to navigate this landscape, using a combination of grit, strategic thinking, and emotional intelligence. This brings us to another key concept from behavioral economics: implicit bias. These are the unconscious attitudes or stereotypes that affect our understanding, actions, and decisions. In Sun's case, she was up against deeply ingrained biases about what a successful private equity professional should look like, and it usually wasn't a young Asian American woman. Recognizing these biases is the first step, but overcoming them requires more. Sun shares strategies she developed, like over-preparing for meetings, building strong networks of allies, both male and female, and learning to assert herself in ways that challenge stereotypes without alienating colleagues. Her experiences raise important questions for all of us, regardless of gender or industry. How aware are we of our own implicit biases? How do these unconscious prejudices affect our decisions, our treatment of colleagues, our evaluation of talent? For leaders listening to this podcast, Sun's story is a call to action. Creating truly inclusive work environments isn't just about meeting diversity quotas. It's about actively challenging biases, creating systems that promote equity, and fostering a culture where diverse talents can thrive. So, I challenge you, take a moment to reflect on your own workplace. Are there voices that are consistently overlooked? Talents that are underutilized because they don't fit a certain mold? What concrete steps can you take to create a more inclusive environment where all types of talent can flourish? Now, let's dive into what is perhaps the most thought-provoking aspect of Sun's memoir: the ethical quandaries she faced while working in private equity. This isn't just a story about making money. It's a profound exploration of the moral responsibilities that come with wielding significant financial power. Sun takes us inside the war rooms where billion-dollar deals are hashed out. Decisions that can affect thousands of lives are made in the blink of an eye. She describes the exhilaration of closing a major acquisition, but also the creeping unease as she realized the human cost of these transactions. Workers laid off, communities disrupted, all in the name of maximizing shareholder value. One particularly poignant anecdote involves a deal where Sun's firm acquired a struggling retail chain. The numbers on the spreadsheet suggested that closing underperforming stores and cutting staff would boost profitability. But as Sun dug deeper, she began to understand the real-world implications. Families losing their primary source of income, local economies devastated by the loss of a major employer. This scenario illustrates a concept in behavioral ethics known as ethical fading. This occurs when the ethical dimensions of a decision disappear from view, often because we're focused on other aspects of the decision. In this case, financial metrics and investor returns. The distance between the decision makers in a gleaming Manhattan office tower and the workers whose lives are upended by these choices can make it easy for the ethical implications to fade into the background. Sun grapples with this disconnect, forcing us to confront uncomfortable questions about the true cost of profit maximization. But here's where Sun's story takes an interesting turn. Instead of simply accepting this as the way things are done, she begins to look for ways to incorporate ethical considerations into the deal-making process. She talks about advocating for more comprehensive impact assessments, pushing for solutions that balance profitability with social responsibility. This part of Sun's journey raises crucial questions for all of us in business, regardless of our industry or position. How do we balance the drive for profit with our ethical responsibilities? Are we fully considering the broader impact of our business decisions? For the leaders among our listeners, this is a call to expand our definition of success. In a world grappling with rising inequality and environmental challenges, can we afford to focus solely on financial metrics? How can we incorporate social and ethical considerations into our decision-making processes in a meaningful way? I encourage you to think about a recent significant decision you made in your professional life. Did you consider its broader implications? Were there stakeholders whose interests might have been overlooked? How might you approach similar decisions differently in the future, armed with this awareness? As we near the end of our journey through Private Equity, a Memoir, let's take a moment to reflect on the key lessons we've uncovered. First, we saw the power of ambition and the importance of challenging the status quo. Carrie Sun's journey from a working-class background to the upper echelons of finance reminds us that, with determination and hard work, we can transcend the boundaries others might set for us. Second, we confronted the dark side of success, the burnout, the anxiety, the personal costs of a high-pressure career. Sun's experiences serve as a stark reminder of the importance of work-life balance and the need to define success on our own terms. Third, we explored the persistent challenges of gender and power dynamics in the workplace. Sun's strategies for navigating these waters offer valuable insights for anyone facing systemic biases in their career. Finally, we grappled with the ethical dimensions of wealth and power, confronting the real-world implications of financial decisions and the importance of maintaining our moral compass even in the face of immense pressure. These lessons extend far beyond the world of private equity. Whether you're a startup founder, a middle manager, or a C-suite executive, Sun's memoir offers valuable insights into leadership, ethics, and personal growth in the modern business world. As we close, I want to encourage you to continue this journey of reflection and growth. Private Equity, a Memoir, is more than just a fascinating insider account. It's a call to action for all of us to think more deeply about our career choices, our leadership styles, and the impact we want to have on the world. If you found value in today's episode, I highly recommend getting your hands on a copy of Carrie Sun's book. You'll find a link to purchase Private Equity, a Memoir, in both text and audio formats in the episode description below. This has been CEO's Library, the 1% Bookshelf. I'm Maxwell Thornton, reminding you that true success isn't just about climbing the corporate ladder. It's about building a ladder worth climbing. Until next time, keep reading, keep learning, and keep leading.